So our next guest on WrestleCast will be the legend Jeff Hardy. How are you, Jeff?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm really good now. You're looking very well. Apart from a little bit tired.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, man. It's been a long week.
Now, first off, when the WWE say to you, right, listen, you can go on the European tour, is it a bit like, oh, no, don't want to do that?
I'll be honest, man, because these 3 days that normally I would be home, just chilling out and, recuperating and, fueling for the following week. But it's for top talent, so that's kind of an honor in itself.
Yeah.
So I'm making the best of it, man. It's been fun. The UK's great over here, man. I have a great fan base, over here, and it's great to come over here and share myself with these people.
Definitely. And how do you sort of keep yourself in shape and training for the matches while you're over here? Because the temptation must be sort of go out, have a few drinks, have a big meal, and not hit the gym so much because it's sort of like a holiday.
Right. I've been sleeping quite a bit, man. I consider that training, to be quite honest, man. The more I can dream, that's training to me, man. Yeah, I've laid off the booze a little bit this week, but, every now and then I go out and have a few drinks. But, yeah, I've just been taking it easy this week.
Tell us about how you are in yourself, because we know you've had your problems, been well documented in the past. Mm-hmm. It's great to see you're back on form, and to be honest, you're probably the best you've been in years.
Yeah,
as far as your work ethic goes.
It was a great way for me to spit in everybody's face who actually said, Jeff Hardy's on drugs. He's never gonna be the same as he was. So I'm proud to pee in a cup these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the drug test is pretty much in effect, and you've got to be clean to be in the WWE, and I'm clean as a whistle, man. That's for sure. So I'm feeling great.
And there's various rumours why it ended in the WWE. So can you set the record straight?
What I needed more than anything, man, throwing pain pills or any kind of drug use, naturally, a lot of guys are pushed to that. It's pretty obvious, to the human eye. I needed time off more than anything. I wanted to get away from wrestling, and that's what I did for a complete year. I didn't wrestle at all. I did my motocross thing, completed my motocross track at home, and just chilled out for a year before I made the decision to actually give TNA a try. The time at home was rehab for me as far as becoming completely clean, you know what I mean? Although that did develop a lot of, when people say, oh, Jeff, a lot of demons that I had when they would refer to drug use or whatever.
Demons, so it's always a great word. It doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah, sometimes I say my demons are cool,
yeah.
man. We smoke together, whatever. With the new drug policy that WWE has enforced, it felt good to come back and pee whenever they need me to, and what better way to say, hey, I'm clean than to prove it like that.
Did it hurt you, the rumours that were going around about it?
No, because I was pretty comfortable. One thing that's never bothered me is other people's opinions of me, whether it was during the time that I was coming out of the ring with paint all over me, and people would look at me like, oh my God, what are you doing? This one I've always been comfortable with it myself, and it doesn't bother me to hear somebody say, oh yeah, he's a drug addict. As long as I know I'm good, within myself, and I'm doing fine. So yeah, I don't let the critics bother me at all, man.
When did you get the call to come back, and was it Vince that gave you the call?
It was my instinct, man. I went to a SmackDown in Roanoke, Virginia, and I just went to visit and say hello, and basically talked to Vince one-on-one there and told him I was interested in coming back, and he said, oh, we'd love to have you back. And this was right near the ending of my TNA, stand or whatever. So, yeah, I basically went and made myself seen and felt a good vibe. It was overwhelming, the welcoming vibe that they gave me, and so I was like, yeah, this is looking good. And it wasn't too much later that they sent me a deal.
Oh, was there any problems because of the way you left last time, or maybe going to TNA, or were you welcome back?
No, there was nothing mentioned about TNA. All that was mentioned is when was my last days with them. So legally, I'd be straight to come back to WWE. So yeah, it's pretty much they took advantage of it, man, and I did the same, and worked out great.
So do you like the mix at the moment right now, doing a lot of single stuff yourself, being IC champion, and also doing the thing with Matt again, the tag team?
If it were up to me, man, I think I would choose tag team wrestling any day over, solo careers. But it's cool that we can go our single ways, and still be successful, because a lot of tag teams aren't that successful on their own, when they do split. So it's cool that we can go our separate ways and still be successful and still have good matches. But I would prefer tag team match. I love wrestling tag team, style matches, and I love wrestling with Matt. And I think the Hardy Boys are stronger as two than individuals.
Yeah, completely. Now, I used to look at you guys as a tag team first time around. JR was a big fan of you and was like, this guy's going to the next Shawn Michaels, and that was great. And they seemed to go in Matt right at the start. They seemed to give him the bigger push, and you were sort of, left there. Any reason for that?
No, I've never been the big political type of guy. I've always been I know I'm good at what I do, and I've always just, believed in that, and I never, present ideas, or I'm never overbearing in what I want to do or want to be involved in. But Matt, he seems more worried about his position in the spot that he has at times. But to me, I'm more laid back, and I just pretty much the fans are my power. They determine whether or not I'm going to be involved in something serious or not. But because really the fans are where they test who's going to do this and who's going to do that and who's going to be the most popular. Because I've always been real comfortable in my own skin, and doing what I do, and I've just been real laid back and doing it.
It's great. Since you came back, the amount of the pops you've been getting from the crowd have just been great. And to be honest, every match you've had back so far, you must be really proud with.
Oh yeah, I'm totally like overwhelmed with like my performances, man, and I'm back in the groove, man. You know, I'm calloused up again.
You're like a 17-year-old kid now. There,
Yeah.
this is the best stuff you've done.
Yeah, to getting beat up, you know, I'm back in the mix of getting beat up and putting on a great show, man. And it's rough, you know, because you do it night after night. Your body's, I'm sore all the time, but you know, I've calloused up once again to performing night after night.
How does your body hold up? Because I mean, you've done swanton bombs off of almost everything, haven't you? And you know, you high impact moves. So how do you keep your body holding up?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, man. You know, that's pretty much the way it is. I've been very fortunate, you know, knock on whatever, and hopefully I'll continue to stay that way. But I've broke more bones like riding motorcycles than I have, you know, professional wrestling. So
Yeah, it's quite funny because you see some Triple H did his quad, didn't he, doing a spine buster, and yet
Yeah.
you can get away with doing flips off.
yeah, it's the
flips
little
off
things that
ladders,
kill,
yeah.
man. A lot of times, you know, like I'll twist my ankle like walking out, you know, downstairs, you know, outside my hotel before I get hurt in the ring. That's just the way it is. But yeah, hopefully I pray to continue to, you know, be healthy in what I do.
What's the most brutal match you've ever been in?
All those TLC matches that we took part in were pretty brutal, you know. It's like they're adrenaline fueled, you know, like with the help of the fans, you know, behind all the extreme stuff we do, it always makes it easier. But yeah, every match we've had like that, it's just you're asking, you're sore as hell, and there's a chance that anybody can, you know, get hurt in those matches. And like, yeah, been very lucky.
Has anybody actually told you at any point, like, Jeff, you need to calm it down a little bit? It's a house show in Scotland. It's not WrestleMania, because
Right.
every performance, every time I've seen you at a house show or a pay-per-view, you always think it's WrestleMania, and that's great from your point of view, but you don't want to die.
Yeah, I've chilled out a lot comparing my run now as to the one before, because I was a little out of control, and I was just like, I could not help, but anytime I'd be in front of a big crowd, I'd want to just go all out, to where now I've simplified what I do, and, you know, I just do the little things that can get me by and still satisfy the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've toned it down a lot, and back in the day, they used to tell me that all the time, but I was real hard-headed, but now I've softened up a little bit
I
to
see
that.
you looking for things, you know, around the arena to jump off, and it's like, oh, you see the set when the pay-per-view starts and the pyro goes off, and you go, oh, Jeff's coming off that.
A few weeks ago, like the week right after Christmas, we had 5 straight days of ladder matches, man. It was myself, Nitro, and Carlito in like a 3-way ladder match. And, man, there was fans, actually, you know, when we would do a ladder spot or whatever, and we'd bump out of the ring, and they were going, oh, you don't have to do this. This is a house show.
It's
you know
true,
what I mean?
because you're truly loved by the fans. You know,
Yeah.
it's not actually the character, it's yourself, because there's not a lot of difference between you and the Jeff Hardy you play on the TV. And you're a genuinely popular guy. A little bit like Foley was. You know, we love your stuff you do. Don't do it all the time. Don't kill yourself. We
Right.
don't want to see you dying.
And in that scenario, when we were doing ladder matches night after night on the road, I was like, when the fan would say that, I was like, oh, I didn't book this match, bro. Trust me. You know, this wasn't my booking.
What was the idea behind that? Is it to just make house shows more popular? Because it does seem a bit mad.
I guess, and that was the week we actually had a sold-out Meadowlands in New Jersey, which was unbelievable for a live event, you know. And so I don't know why they booked that match, but yeah, it's over. And we played it real safe, you know. We didn't do too many crazy spots or whatever, so we simplified ourselves and made it real safe.
Did you find in the first run, once you'd done sort of a TLC match, or when you came off the stage with the Swanton Bomb, did you find then that if you weren't doing that, if you were just doing normal moves, then fans wouldn't respond? They were always waiting for something bigger and better, so you sort of set the bar too high.
In a sense, yeah, I always feel like I got a lot to live up to, you know, in what I do, and like a lot. But I think I'm at one with the fans now, to where they respect me for what I've done in the past, and they respect for what I, you know, do in the future. Whether it might not be as risky or as aerial as it was in the past, but you know, I think I've got a bond with them that's pretty much unbreakable when it comes to, like, they'll love me no matter, you know, if I just jump off the top rope, you know, as compared to jumping off the top of a ladder or whatever.
So who came up with some of those moves that you did, some of the big moves? Was it yourself, or was it you and Matt, or did the booker come to you and say, look, I've got an idea?
No, we pretty much developed our own moves. You know, one thing that we always set goals for ourselves, you know, growing up, was like to be different in what we do, and to be original. And we would watch things on TV and kind of modify them to make them stand out a little more or whatever. But you know, there's been so much has been done. It's hard to continuously create new moves. So you basically just got to work with what you got.
And of course, watching all the early stuff with Edge and Christian, you know, just great. I mean, they must have been some of the best people you work with.
It's sad what happened between, you know, Matt and Adam, because we were so close, you know, at one point. We're such good friends, and it's hard to swallow that at sometimes, you know, like something that nasty could take place between my brother and...
You 4 people were just bonded there.
Yeah, Christian, you know, I got to spend a little time with him when he came to TNA.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad to see him doing good down there. And I hope he's happy and everything. And yeah, those were some great memories, man. Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys are monumental in tag team memories when it comes to WWE.
Where do you lie now with Lita? Again, it's a Matt that